extorting a Milford woman, a woman killed after being attacked by her dog identified, and much more. Frank Granito will have a look at your forecast and a Nutmeg Sports update later on, and Donald Eng joins us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Milford police arrested a Greenwich man Saturday for allegedly threatening to hurt a Milford woman if she didn't give him money. Police said that on Saturday, May 20th, around 12:15 p.m., they received a complaint that a man had sent threatening text messages to a woman in an attempt to get money from her. The text messages were sent in a harassing manner in which a countdown was initiated for the victim to send the man money or there would be consequences. Now, the man repeatedly threatened to harm the woman if she did not comply. The man was identified as 29-year-old Matthew Mannix of Riversville Road in Greenwich. Mannix was taken into custody later that day by Milford police and charged with criminal attempt at larceny by extortion, threatening, and harassment. And in other news, Reading police released the name of a woman who died last week after being attacked by a dog in her Reading home. 71-year-old Sandra Kaiser of Reading died at Danbury Hospital after being attacked by her own dog at a home on Deacon Abbott Street on Friday, May 12th. Now, the official cause of death is unknown, and police are awaiting an autopsy on Kaiser, which should be completed in 4 to 6 weeks, according to Police Chief Douglas Fuchs. Fuchs said that the dog was both a mixed breed and a rescue dog, but not a pit bull. The dog has been living on the Deacon Abbott home for 6 years. Fuchs said the dog attack set off a series of events which led to the death of the resident, though the attack itself may not have been the exact cause of death. You can get more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. And Darien police arrested a 27-year-old Greenwich woman on May 13th after she allegedly attempted to empty a man's bank account at a Darien Wells Fargo. According to police, Jacinta Perez told bank employees she had been granted power of attorney over her stepfather's accounts and wanted to withdraw the balance of more than $200,000 in cash. Though the woman attempted to provide supporting information, the bank's legal department denied her request multiple times. They notified police of Perez's attempt to empty the account, and officers contacted the account holder later that day. In a written statement, the account holder claimed he had met Perez 2 weeks prior at a Best Value Inn in Stamford, where he was living. He told police she had gotten into a fight with her roommate, and he had allowed her to stay with him for the past 2 weeks. Furthermore, he told police he is in poor health and did not give Perez any authority over his personal affairs, including his bank account. Police were granted an arrest warrant for Perez and served it at a different Stamford hotel, the America's Best Inn. She was taken into custody without incident and released on a promise to appear in court on May 30th. And Pennsylvania resident John Dela Cruz, 20 years old, and New York resident Fernando Jimenez, 27, were arrested by New Canaan police for an iPhone scam after trying to pick up a package a little before noon on May 20th. New Canaan police were dispatched to a Douglas Road home on a report of 2 suspicious males, later identified as Dela Cruz and Jimenez. The 2 men had been seen approaching a residence on Douglas Road 5 or 6 times in the span of about 20 minutes to pick up a package. The man claimed that the package was being shipped to the residence incorrectly and they were simply trying to claim it. Well, inside the package was an iPhone, according to police. And when checking the 2 men's vehicle, the police found 6 new iPhones, multiple wire transfer receipts, and numerous addresses for homes in New Canaan on the navigation app on Dela Cruz's phone. The police surmised that Dela Cruz and Jimenez were involved in a scam in which they made fraudulent purchases that they tried to intercept on delivery before the homeowners discovered the packages. Both Dela Cruz and Jimenez were taken into custody and charged with conspiracy and larceny in the 3rd degree. And in other news, does political criticism constitute a town emergency? Well, that's what some Trumbull residents are wondering after First Selectman Tim Herbst used the town's Citizen Alert notification program to respond to a flyer distributed by Trumbull Democrats on Monday afternoon. That flyer cited the town's plan to sell 6 municipally owned properties, including the Board of Education building, the Armtellium building, and the Nature and Arts Center, all on Main Street. The VFW Hall, Center at Priscilla Place, and a property on Berkshire Avenue are also potentially on that block. Now, Democratic Town Committee Chairman Tom Kelly said his group had distributed flyers to a targeted list of homeowners who live within a quarter mile of one of the affected properties, about 1,000 homes in total. So most of the town was surprised to receive a telephone call from Herbst Monday afternoon using the town's Citizen Alert program and criticizing the flyer. In his recording, Herbst did not specify what part of the flyers he considered untruthful, and when media outlets, including our own Trumbull Times, contacted his office to ask for comment, Herbst distributed a statement saying the system was commonly used for items of public concern. Well, there's much more on that story at TrumbullTimes.com. And the state Senate early Wednesday approved legislation that would allow a joint venture of the state's 2 tribal casinos to build a 3rd casino in East Windsor to compete with the billion-dollar MGM Resorts Casino that's under construction in Springfield, Massachusetts. Hearst Connecticut media reports that the 12:35 a.m. vote culminated a 2.5-hour debate that included a failed amendment from State Senator Tony Wong, a casino opponent, to ban any state funds from the construction of the proposed $300 million gambling destination off of Interstate I-91 planned by MMCT Venture. But within hours, the Kent-based Shattuck tribe announced it would file a lawsuit over the closed-door process in which the General Assembly seems on track, giving tribes a preferred designation. Well, the bill passed 24-12 and heads to the House with 2 weeks to go in the legislative session. Legislative leaders had said even if the budget deadline is missed, some kind of casino legislation would eventually become part of the budget. All right, well, let's switch gears now. Throw it over to Frank Granito to take a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. It's looking better out there right now as early morning showers have passed around the county. We should see conditions continuing to improve this afternoon with comfortable temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Partly sunny skies as we are getting a much needed break from all the rainfall this week. There is increasing cloud cover starting around 8 p.m. tonight, and unfortunately more rainfall heading our way starting in the early morning before dawn on Thursday. Cooler out around Fairfield County tomorrow, plenty of rain to boot. We're looking at on and off showers throughout the day, an expected high of only 60 degrees. Breezier as well, gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour, and we could see heavier rainfall heading our way for the early evening. There is a chance of passing thunderstorms as well that carries overnight and into Friday morning. 1 or 2 more showers on Friday morning before clouds start to dissipate. Temperatures climb back towards the 70s. Intervals of sun and clouds through the early afternoon, but then by the evening, skies are clearing up. We've got a low of 55 overnight, and there is some bright weather coming our way for the holiday weekend. That'll do it for the weather update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng will take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports update, and there's more local news coming up after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Drive and Discover event. Now through May 31st.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now at 3 locations: 131 Kings Highway North in Westport, the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8.
Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference. Family and Children's Aid has been serving the community since 1809 and is now the largest outpatient children's mental health care provider in Western Connecticut. Our innovative services include providing shelter to homeless moms and children, substance abuse intervention, mental health counseling, and foster and adoptive services, among others. Our goal is to provide individuals and families a safe haven and hope for a brighter future. Find out more about us at fcaweb.org and call our Danbury campus at 203-748-5689. A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. At the Tile Shop at Doro Granite and Marble, you dream it and we create it. Located at 5 Danbury Road in Ridgefield, we offer the finest quality of porcelain, natural stone tile, artisan tile, and much more. Find out more at tiletiletile.com or call us at 203-438-9338.
Welcome back to this May 24th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to take a look back on this date in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, Kate, it was an actual structure before it was a TV show. First, though, we go to 1738. John Wesley opens his Bible and reports feeling a strange warming sensation in his heart. That essentially is the birth of Methodism. The day is celebrated annually by Methodists as Aldersgate Day. Church service generally held the preceding Sunday, 1738. To 1935 we go. Speaking of religious awakenings, the Cincinnati Reds play the Philadelphia Phillies in the first Major League Baseball game at night. Now, the switch for the floodlights was thrown by President Franklin Roosevelt. Night games had been popular in the minor leagues for 5 years, but the majors, slow to catch on. The Reds would play one night game against each NL opponent that year. Attendance under the lights, 117% higher than it was for day games. To 1940 in Stratford, Connecticut, Igor Sikorsky performs the first successful single-rotor helicopter flight. Note, by the way, the lack of any safety equipment, like at all. Now, for every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction, so a spinning vertical rotor would therefore spin the helicopter in the opposite direction. The addition of the tail rotor, essentially a propeller mounted horizontally on the tail, stabilized the craft and allowed the pilot to rotate it in place. Igor Sikorsky. Finally, now we go to 1983 for this. You are looking at the Brooklyn Bridge's 100th anniversary fireworks display, which obviously means that in 1883, the bridge opened, connecting Manhattan and Brooklyn. After 14 years of construction, by the way, it took to build the bridge, the public was not entirely convinced of its safety until the following year, when showman P.T. Barnum marched Jumbo and 21 other elephants across the Brooklyn Bridge in a parade. Today, 123,000 vehicles use the bridge every day. That's your look back in history for today, May 24th. I'm Donald Eng.
Now, Don, the Igor Sikorsky thing is interesting because yesterday, it was 2 years ago since we tried Igor's Dream at Two Roads Brewing in Stratford.
I saw that.
Yes.
I called it the day of Don's aura after the great Tracy photo there. But yeah, that was a fun time.
That was. All right. And in honor of Igor Sikorsky. All right. Well, back to local news. State troopers helped a woman in labor on Route 2 in Lebanon, Connecticut. On Tuesday at about 7:27 p.m., Troop K was notified by OnStar that a female was actively in labor and pulled to the side of the highway in the area of Route 2 eastbound, exit 22. Dispatch personnel dispatched several on-duty troopers to the area and activated medical services response. While in the area, an off-duty trooper operating his cruiser acknowledged the dispatch transmission and located the woman in labor and immediately rendered advanced first aid care to her. The off-duty trooper remained with the woman and assisted with the childbirth process until responding on-duty troopers arrived in addition to an ambulance. The woman was then transported to Bacchus Hospital. All right, well, let's throw it back to Frank Ornito now for Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And last night, the HA Network was at Brian McMahon High School for the boys lacrosse semifinals. Of our coverage of the FCIAC postseason continued on. First up, number 2 Greenwich and number 3 Ridgefield. They played to an 8-7 overtime thriller at the start of the year, and we got a lot of excitement again last night. Ridgefield will play for the FCIAC championship Thursday night after a 10-7 win over the Cardinals. Ridgefield outscored Greenwich 5-1 over the final 13 minutes of the game. Reed Kagan had 3 goals and an assist. Greg Gatto with 2 goals and 2 assists, as Ridgefield playing in their first FCIAC championship now since 2014. Here are the highlights from that win.
Cutting across, had it taken away. Carpenter in front, he scores! Working against McJarity, trying to dodge, pass up Harris. Shot coming here, down low, skips up high, and we're tied up at 1. Jackson Peters responding for the Cards. Kagan working behind the cage, guarded there by Ayub. He gets to the front, pass to the near side. Carpenter scores.
Carpenter scores, but Kagan deserves all the credit on that because it was Kagan's setup. He takes it deep, cuts back in front, draws defense, and going down at the last second.
Cage pulled down from behind. Flag comes flying out. Muir still on possession. Goes down again, and the pass out in front. Fida lets it go, and he's got another.
Went with that underhanded shot again, so much power to it.
Pass to the front of that turnaround shot, Kagan, and we're tied at 5.
Kagan, right place, right time, right there. Point blank, Frank.
Hito behind the net. Clock down to 3. Picked up in front. It's going to count. Yes.
What a cut and what a goal for the Ridgefield Tigers.
Theo wins the draw. Pass goes up over Lawrence's stick. He's able to recover. Shot on goal. Scores right away.
Well, that limits that damage.
Horn or no horn, the ball don't lie. We're tied at 7. Up high, Gatto. He wants to shoot. Bounce shot upstairs, and it's a Ridgefield 8-7 lead.
Not getting the turnovers.
Ridgefield was most recently in the title game back in 2015. They lost to Darien. They're going to get another shot. We don't know who they're facing yet, but the Tigers now 21 seconds away from putting their second team in the championship.
So Ridgefield earning a spot in the championship game to start the afternoon. Following that up, it was Wilton and Darien. The Warriors, the only low seed to pull an upset in the first round, taking on mighty Darien, riding a 48-game win streak. It was 3-2 3 minutes into the second quarter before Darien piled on 13 unanswered goals going into the fourth. They would roll on and win this game by a final of 17-3, the 49th consecutive win for the Blue Wave. 5 goals for Logan McGovern, 4 from Kevin Lindley, whose season record now is up to 79 total goals. A dominating performance by Darien. Here are the highlights from that game.
Arden Cohen on the defense that prevented Drake from getting a clean shot off on the Darien net.
Near side and able to finish on that one is Matt Mays. And I'm sorry to cut you off, John, but that is how quickly Darien can strike.
Up.
As Lindley down behind the cage, quickly out in front. It's Lindley to McGovern. 2-0 Wave.
Great feed by Lindley, and McGovern's there.
In the butt right now is Drake with a swinging shot here, and he beats Cornell up high. Ryan Cornell will not be perfect through the postseason.
The call.
Pass inside, Calabrese on the other end. It's Brian who scores. Out in the playoffs, McGovern gonna have to tight walk around the crease, trying to get free for the shot. Shakes Hoffman, shot upstairs. He's got a hat trick.
And what a great job shaking him off. Just a move, a little bit of a shoulder deep there.
And a shot off the back of the net. McGovern waiting there, skips one out. Minikis dodging to his right, trying to get his hand around. He does indeed score.
Went up top, put it in over top of Calabrese. Won each of the faceoffs.
Maybe did not win one of them, as Lindley looking for the fourth. He's got it, and it is all Darien here at the start of the second.
Here at the HAN network.
We've got 1:20 remaining here. Big shot and a finish upstairs. This one by Henry Feifel, the sophomore midfielder. Buzz from the crowd as Collins ices this one over. It's 49 in a row for the Wave, and it's done with relative ease in the FCX semis. Darien 17, Wilton 3.
So Thursday night, 7 p.m. at Brian McMahon High, it will be Ridgefield and Darien in the Boys Lacrosse Championship. We'll get a preview of that tonight at 7 from Norwalk when Ridgefield and Darien battle out on the girls' side. Of course, Ridgefield, the big win over New Canaan on Monday night, along with Darien beating Staples. This is the first championship game for the Tigers in girls lacrosse. Darien is looking to win their 6th consecutive FCX championship. We also have baseball on the air tonight. The semifinals will be played from Harbor Yard. Game number 1 will be Trumbull and Ridgefield in the 4-8 matchup, followed by Darien and Wilton. We'll be on the air at 4:30 with a special Nutmeg Sports pregame show. First pitch is set for 5 o'clock. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, in Reading, after receiving a rash of complaints about the speed of cars driving on Turney Road to and from Joe Barlow High School, Reading police will increase speed enforcement on the road beginning next week. According to Police Chief Douglas Fuchs, a number of requests had been filed with the police department in recent months requesting an additional speed bump be placed on Turney Road to curb the speed of drivers. Now, to test whether that speed bump was necessary, the police chief and Reading Highway Department used traffic sensors to monitor the speed and volume of traffic about 3 weeks ago. Their study found that cars travel much faster on average than the posted speed limit. During the same time the study was being undertaken, Reading officers cited 2 high school-age drivers for excessive speeding on the road, clocking them at 58 and 60 miles per hour. And Monday's rain didn't dampen spirits at the Walk for Hope Walkathon and Vigil in Monroe. The goal of the event was to raise awareness about addiction support while reducing the stigma. The vigil also honored those who battle with addiction. Matthew DeLuca, a recovering addict that started the Everyone Knows Someone campaign, spoke about his experience as an addict. Take a look.
So my name is Matthew DeLuca, and I'm a drug addict. And for a long time, saying those words filled me with guilt and shame and just really made me not feel like a good person. You know, for a long time, I hated myself because I knew that was my truth. That was who I was an addict. For all intents and purposes, I didn't want to use anymore. I did not want to get high anymore. But every single day I still did. Every single day I still found myself battling with this craving and this urge that was more powerful than anything I've ever experienced in my life. I hurt my family members, my friends. I absolutely destroyed relationships with people.
The event raised more than $1,000 for the Heron Project, a nonprofit foundation that provides recovery support, educational programs, and resources for those taking the first steps toward sobriety. And thanks to the Monroe Courier's Tina Marie Craven for that report. And in other news, Flames Mediterranean and American Grill opened this week on Daniel Street in downtown Milford. Waleed Hanif said the new restaurant offers seating inside and out, and the menu includes falafels, shawarma, and other items. Hanif lives in Ansonia with his family, and he's been a New York City businessman a number of years ago. He owned a deli in Brooklyn, and he sees Flames as a Manhattan-style cafe. Hanif said he'd been looking for an ideal location when he came across the vacant Daniel Street shop. Julie Nash, Milford's Economic Development Director, said the restaurant will add to the flavors of downtown Milford. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh takes on spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with ProHealth Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians' news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
I can't believe it.
Well, Dad, you did it. You sold 160 cars. Ready to go back upstairs now?
I think it's time. I wonder how the boys are making out in their new office.
Not what I had in mind, Kyle. What, Dad?
Maybe we should retire. Right now, lease a 2017 Rogue S for only $139 a month. Isn't it time you got Millerized?
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Milford police arrested a Greenwich man on Saturday for allegedly threatening to hurt a Milford woman if she didn't give him money. Police said that on Saturday, May 20th, around 12:15 in the afternoon, they received a complaint that a man had sent threatening text messages to a woman in an attempt to get money from her. Now, those text messages were sent in a harassing manner in which a countdown was initiated for the victim to send the man money or there would be consequences. The man repeatedly threatened to harm the woman if she did not comply. The man was identified as 29-year-old Matthew Mannix of 300 Riversville Road in Greenwich. Mannix was taken into custody later that day by Milford police and charged with criminal attempt at larceny by extortion, threatening, and harassment. And Reading police released the name of a woman who died last week after being attacked by a dog in her Reading home. 71-year-old Sandra Kaiser of Reading died at Danbury Hospital after being attacked by her own dog at a home on Deacon Abbott Street on Friday, May 12th. Reading police reported that the official cause of death is unknown, and police are awaiting an autopsy on Kaiser, which should be complete in 4 to 6 weeks, according to Police Chief Douglas Fuchs. Fuchs said the dog was both a mixed breed and a rescue dog, but was not a pit bull. The dog had also been living in the Deacon Abbott home for 6 years. Fuchs said that the dog attack set off a series of events which led to the death of the resident, though the attack itself may not have been the exact cause of death. And Darien police arrested a 27-year-old Greenwich woman on May 13th after she allegedly attempted to empty a man's bank account at a Darien Wells Fargo. According to police, Yacenta Perez told bank employees she had been granted power of attorney over her stepfather's account and wanted to withdraw the balance of more than $200,000. Though the woman attempted to provide supporting information, the bank's legal department denied her request multiple times. They also notified police of Perez's attempt to empty the account, and officers contacted the account holder later that day. In a written statement, the account holder claimed he had met Perez 2 weeks prior at a Best Value Inn in Stamford, where he was living. He told police she had gotten into a fight with her roommate and he had allowed her to stay with him for the past 2 weeks. Furthermore, he told police he's in poor health and did not give Perez any authority over his personal affairs, including his bank accounts. Police were granted an arrest warrant for Perez and served it at a different Stamford hotel, the America's Best Inn. She was taken into custody without incident and released on a promise to appear in court on May 30th. And Pennsylvania resident John Dela Cruz and New York resident Fernando Jimenez were arrested by New Canaan police for an iPhone scam after trying to pick up a package a little before noon on May 20th. New Canaan police were dispatched to Douglas Road on a report of two suspicious males, later identified as Dela Cruz and Jimenez. The two men had been seen approaching a residence on Douglas Road 5 to 6 times in the span of about 20 minutes to pick up a package. The men claimed that package was being shipped to the residence incorrectly, and they were simply trying to claim it. Inside the package was an iPhone, and when checking the two men's vehicle, police found 6 new iPhones, multiple wire transfer receipts, and numerous addresses for homes in New Canaan on the navigation app on Dela Cruz's phone. The police surmised that Dela Cruz and Jimenez were involved in a scam in which they made fraudulent purchases that they tried to intercept on delivery before the homeowners discovered the packages. Both Dela Cruz and Jimenez were taken into custody and charged with conspiracy and third-degree larceny. Let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And conditions are improving today. We saw some early morning showers that have passed through. We're going to see clear skies shortly now with temperatures in the low to mid 70s. We'll get a break from the tons of rainfall we have seen this week. There's increasing cloud cover, though, starting again tonight. And there are going to be showers starting early in the morning before dawn that will carry into Thursday. Cooler out tomorrow. We're going to have on and off periods of rain throughout the county. Temperatures right around 60 degrees. Breezier as well with gusts of wind up between 20 to 25 miles per hour. We could see heavier rainfall starting later in the day for the early evening, and there is a chance of thunderstorms and more showers overnight heading into Friday. Those Friday morning showers, though, should start to dissipate. Temperatures will be back on the rise into the 70s. Intervals of sun and clouds expected through the late afternoon before we see clear skies for the FCX Championship in baseball on Friday night. A low of 55 overnight, and there are some bright spots heading our way for this holiday weekend, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. No CT Pulse today at 12:30 because we're getting ready for a very busy day on the HAN network. Frank, what's coming up?
That's right. We have got the FCX Championship in girls lacrosse coming up tonight at 7 o'clock from Norwalk High. I made the semifinals in baseball from the ballpark at Harbor Yard. First pitch for game number 1 is at 5. Second game set for 7:30. Kevin Coleman and myself will be on the air at 4:30 for the special Nutmeg Sports Show to get you ready for all the action.
That's right, and you can get all the details on how to watch those broadcasts at HAN.network. We will see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Have a great day.